Here out, I think it looked better with it up in a bun. If you did not see the week 3 weekly reading vlog, basically my hair was up in a bun, messy bun, because I took a bath. I boiled myself alive, like shortly before filming, and so I decided for the intro I should probably like fix my hair. I'm not sure if I like it. Maybe I should have kept it in the bun. But yes, this is week 4. I don't know what's happening anymore. Life is chaos. Will I finish the puzzle? We will never know. Except I will probably tell you and put a photo of it. Also, the hair tie, like the covering of it ripped, and so that's fun. That's fun. But yes, reading plans for this week. There's a few little things. One, I was approved for another book on NetGalley that I don't have to read yet. It doesn't come out until the first week of February, so like I got a little bit of time. I think it's the 7th, so like I got some time, and it's an audiobook, so I can read it fast. The issue is that it's the second book in a series, so I gotta read the first book first, which I should probably do soon. The good news is it's a historical romance, and I am in a historical romance mood, so it should be fine. Other things, I have figured out how many more read with me's I'm gonna film of this, so I know when I can just like annotate for fun, because I am at the point where I'm really enjoying it and I just want to read it. And yes, I'm still reading it. I did get to part 3. I'm having a good time. Guinevere Deception, I am 2/3 of the way through, and I do plan to finish that on Tuesday. When my mom works, I am going to do sprints again, and I'm going to read the other third, and I'm going to finish it off, and I'm excited. I do think I'm going to have to continue this series kind of soon, but, you know, we'll see. Me with series, we'll see. I'm currently reading 52, apparently. It's chaos, because I made a series tracker thing. No one needs to worry about it. I want to change the one I made myself. I want to change it. I don't like it anymore, so I'm gonna change it. We love that for me. Also, another thing I should probably read, Tryst 6 Venom. I have not read any since the day I started it, so that's fun. I may do sprints again on Thursday, and if I do, I'll read that then. But yeah, I'm scared of that book, so, you know, and also it's really long, but, and here's the thing, it's pretty fast when I actually read it, kind of similar to Guinevere Deception. But I'm scared of them for different reasons. I'm scared of Guinevere Deception because, like, I know something's gonna have to happen soon, in the book to cause, like, chaos at the end of the book. And that, like, it's the first book in a trilogy, which means I'm gonna have to continue the series, and I'm really enjoying it and all this stuff, and I don't want it to end and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Tryst 6 Venom, it's big, chunky, and it's a dark romance, okay? I'm not, yeah. Apparently, according to my Fitbit, I have almost reached my step goal already today. That's lovely. Other things I'm reading. Wilder Girls. Right after this, I'm gonna actually go listen to it, because, Jen is doing sprints. And I'm watching Jen sprints while reading Wilder Girls, while also playing mod in Stardew Valley, because I am a computer genius who figured out how to download mods. And then taught a child how to download mods as well. I say he's a child, he's like 16. But, yes, that was a fun time that I did yesterday. But, yeah, I'm gonna play mod Stardew Valley. I downloaded some, cosmetic mods, which is new. I wasn't originally planning to do cosmetic mods, but then I was like, you know what, be cute. If I made everything medieval-esque. And so that's what I did, and everything's just like log cabins and very cute, and I love it, okay? It is my vibe. I'm having a good time. Also, I download cheats mods, and I'm having a great time with my plants auto-watering themselves. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's my 10 billionth time playing. It's fine. It's fine. I have like over 600 hours in this game. I have almost 700 hours in this game. It's fine. I don't need to manually water every plant ever again, please. So I plan to finish that. I'm at 51%. I have under 2 hours with 3 times speed. So like that should be pretty easy. I should be able to do that, and then I know what audiobook I want to start after I finish that one. Yeah. But I'll probably talk to you about that like tomorrow or something. And whatnot, because I don't know if I'm gonna start it today Uh, Other things. I mean, I guess it's a little thing that I should mention that due to the whole house filling up with smoke thing, the purpose of setting up fans throughout the house to like circulate all the smoke out of the house means that the fan that I used to film on, used to like set up my phone on to film upstairs in my room, has been moved, and I don't know where it is anymore. So I don't know when the next time I'll film up there will be. So yeah, get used to the couch in my sister's room, I guess technically, and here, because these are the two places I can set up easily. This hair tie is really messed up now. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to Jenna Sprints and listen to Wilder Girls. So yeah, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow with an update on what I read today. It actually is Monday. Look at me doing this the way that you're supposed to. What is happening? I am in the very corner of this couch that now has my mom's old comforter. She got a new one, so she put the old one on here so when the dogs climb up on it, they don't poke holes into the leather, right? Both of them, this one's Ivy, but both of them are up here. So there's a good chance you'll hear them at some point in this update that I'm going to try to do quick. Also, like, we're in the middle of a winter storm right now, and my mom is outside snowballing right now. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but yeah, just in case, if you can, that's a thing. Now I did finish Wilder Girls like I assumed I was going to, and I have thoughts. I talked about it for a long while with H, because we were kind of reading it together, and I mean, is it a surprise I didn't like it? No. I mentioned that I was giving it like a 2.75. It was like that type of vibe I was getting so far. With the ending, I'm going with a 2.5. I had to go with the lower end of where I was because that ending was not it, fam. I don't want to spoil it, but I officially understand why there's so many people who dislike this book because of the ending. I'm not that upset about it. I didn't care one way or the other. Because by that point, I was just like, what? So, you know, that's fine. I'm gonna say the things I like. I do like the general part of the mystery. The general part. I will go into more. But the general part of the mystery. And with that, by its chapters. I don't like any character. But by its chapters were the most interesting because the mystery low-key revolves around by it in at least some sense. So, like, that makes sense. Ivy's, oh my god. She put her head under her paw. It is very adorable. Holding me. It distracted me to talk about books. The way that this disease, whatever it is, manifests itself in each of the girls differently, that really interests me. And yeah, that's it. That's really it for what I liked. I didn't like any of the characters. We talked about this a bajillion times. There was one part that has to do with worms. I'm not gonna say anything to talk about like when or why or any of that stuff, but it has to do with worms. And it vividly reminded me of The Troop, and then I was like, yeah, I see the connections. And whatnot. So that was fun. And the thing that I really didn't like was how nothing was really explained. Nothing was really explained. Like, there was this big mystery of, like, what the disease is, what's going on with the military and whatnot nearby, and finding the cure. Why is this one member of the school, one of the adults, like, hiding stuff from other members or the other adult and all the kids, like, all this stuff. Also pretty early on, Hetty, did I instantly forget her name as soon as I finished the book, apparently, finds in the woods a, like, cooler, kind of, with a vial in it, buried in the ground, right? She accidentally finds it. And it's never brought up again.
Like, this really bothers me. Because I was like, did I, like, miss something? Or was this, like, actually brought up again? And it was like, no, it wasn't brought up again. And I just realized that. Like, me bringing up the fact that I think I may have missed it, and H was like, no, you didn't miss it. Apparently, it was never brought up again. Weird. So that was fun. We had similar theories on what it was, but then there comes into the question of, like, why is it there? Even if you did have to bury it, why would you bury it closer to the school? All this other stuff. So, you know, that's fun. There was, there's theories, and there's hints of, like, what things were, what this disease is, how it's a thing, how the finding the cure is going, and all this stuff. Like, the mystery aspect of that, like, you can see where it could be, like, what it could be, what is happening, but, like, nothing is actually said. And so it just left with more confusion of what's happening, and then that ending really out here wanting to make me fight. And I didn't even, like, care that much. Like, I wasn't invested at all by that point. By the, like, 85% in, I was not invested anymore, which is when things start going chaotic with, like, every character. Like, characters are dying left and right. There's a bear. Things are happening. And I'm just there, like, I'm gonna retry that because I think it was low-key spoiler. But the way that the adults acted in this book, like, some things they did, I could recognize they are not good things. Fam, like, it was surprising and very, how could you that is not a thing that a normal human being would do. Like, why would you do that? Like, why? How could you? That type of thing. But in the context of the book, reading it, I understood, like, I should be upset that these characters are going through these things, but also I'm not caring because I don't care about the characters because I don't like any, like, it's the way the characters are written in a way particularly that pisses me off. So, like, I just didn't care. So that kind of made the last, like, 15% when all the chaos and all the stuff is happening to these characters really just boring. Because I was just like, cool, whatever. Like, I could recognize that this was, like, horrendous stuff, but on the other end, I was just like, whatever. And I have no clue if I described that well at all. But, yeah, I'm going 2.5 stars. And yeah, didn't like it. Also, a Stardew update is that I finally finished clearing out the actual farm, because, the expanded mod makes it so large. So large. I'm currently on the grind to make the money, which is just a fun time. Could I cheat the money? Because I do have a cheats mod. Yes. Will I? Probably not. I don't know. Like, I've played this part of the game so much, it doesn't really matter. No. Then I guess I should talk about the other audiobook I started last night. I didn't get much into it. I only got 5% into it. I only read the first 2 chapters, and that is Dead Silence. Is that what it's called? By S.A. Parker? I've read other books by the author under her other name, Stacey Cade. Like, I think one of her books is on my favorites list. It's like the first book in a series, and I've read that book like a bajillion times, and I finally finished the actual series in like 2020 for the first time. Imagine that. But yeah, I know that I can enjoy her writing, so I'm excited. Basically, from my understanding, it's like a ghost ship mystery type thing, but it's in space. It's a small crew of people who find this SOS single in space, in the middle of nowhere, where no one's supposed to be, right? And this crew is about to be broken up. Like, everything's becoming automated. Robots are going to be taking the positions of most of these people. So the main character is also going to lose her job, and she is not happy about it. One of the members of the crew is, like, constantly berating her for not being good enough. Therefore, that's why there's going to be robots. Something like that. Like, it's some weird vibe from him. One of the other guys seems like very emotionally mature and, like, trying to help her through all this stuff. Meanwhile, she's just very standoffish and just wants to be by herself and doesn't want to like make people believe that she cares about anything. Yeah, she wants to be in her own world, and that's why she likes being in space, because she can just be in her own world. And there's a few other people, but like they're not really important. I don't know, other than like the one guy who's a jerk to her for no reason. And whatnot. She did tell him off near the end of chapter 2, which was hilarious. We love that. But basically, they're like on their way to go back home, right? And or they're about to go, and they get this SOS single on an old channel, and technically you're supposed to go and check it out, right? And based off the synopsis, like they haven't gone there yet, but based on the synopsis, basically it's this luxury ship that went missing on its maiden voyage, and they find it, and some stuff happens. Yeah, that's what basically the synopsis is. And I'm excited. I'm gonna have a good time. I think the ghost ship idea is gonna be my thing. I haven't read anything like that, but I feel like I've watched stuff like that, and I think it could be my thing easily. The characters are gonna be the thing that really make it or break it for me in this one. Because I think the horror aspect and the space aspect and the like all that fun stuff is gonna be my thing. It's just gonna be whether or not if the characters annoy me or make dumb decisions, and whatnot. We love that. Also, the first chapter is really, really short, and it starts from the future, like after all the stuff happens, where basically it's the main character. She's basically with all these doctors and investigators who are like, hey, what happened? Trying to figure out what happened, how her whole crew died. And she's basically in this place in Florida where they take, like all the astronauts, people in space who, don't make it back intact, and they just put them all in one place, and that's where she is now, which is funny because in the beginning of chapter 2 she's like, I would never want to end up there, and then you know that she does by the end of the book. But basically it's like the 10 billionth time they're asking her all these questions, but she's having memory issues and all that fun stuff. And then as they go to ask her questions again, they're like, well, we've sensed movement where the ship is, and she's like, oh no. And then she goes to retell the story to them again, and we are hearing her retelling the story again type thing, right? So we kind of know what, like, how it's gonna end. I assume like there's gonna be something that she doesn't tell them, and we figure out, and like maybe someone's alive, maybe she's trying to protect people, who knows. But yeah, that's what's happening. I didn't read anything else. I haven't read anything today. I'm stressed and I'm tired. And that's fine. Because dogs. Very cute dogs. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave this off for now. So talk to you tomorrow.
Welcome back to here. The only reason being is, technically I'm on sprints. So this way I can keep eye of the timer. It's up on the desk over there. I, do have plans for reading today. Mostly being Guinevere Deception, but I also want to film, the 2 read with me's for the section I'm on. In The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I don't have it with me, so bear with me. And then finish that section tomorrow. That's currently the kind of plan. Though you don't know how that turns out until later. Also, I'm trying out a new coffee thing because we normally do K-cups for the Keurig, but finding K-cups has been very difficult recently. They haven't been really stocking them anymore at the closest grocery store. And between the 3 of us, it's like 8 to 10 cups of coffee a day. So yeah, because I tend to have 2 with normal coffee, and they tend to have 2 to 3 each at least. So yeah, it's a lot. And my mom wants something simple and easy that you can do quick in the morning, for when she has to work in the morning, because like at 4:30 in the morning she does not want to have to deal with dealing with the French press, because we do have coffee grounds and the French press So it's like not the end of the world. She just doesn't want to deal with that at like 5 in the morning. Understandable. Like, I get it. Because then she has to wake up earlier in the morning. She's like, no. So she's been trying to find alternatives, and there was this one that she found. I think it's like micro dosing coffee. I don't know. It's like pure caffeine or pure coffee in little liquid things, and then you pour out a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons. It says to start with 1 teaspoon into whatever desired hot cup of liquid. So I just do the normal setting I do on the Keurig, just without anything in there. And then add whatever sugar and milk I normally add to my coffee, mix it up. But the one she got to test out is the mocha flavor, and I don't like fake mocha flavored things anyways, but the aftertaste, really not living for it right now. It made me feel great yesterday. Today it's not the same level, but it is very caffeinated, because I only had 1 cup yesterday. And yeah, that's my life update. Everything else is just pure chaos, and my anxiety is living its best life. It's got a great environment to live right now, but that's fine. What I read yesterday, that's important. Kind of the whole reason why we're here. I didn't read much, but also read a lot, but not really, of Dead Silence. I read 11%, which is equal to 38 pages. There is an issue with this book that is the similar issue I had with the It Girl, which is, it's like a normal length book, but the audiobook is excessively long. Like, this one's 13 hours. I'm pretty sure the It Girl was like 17 hours or something like that. Like, why? So I don't dislike it. Like, it's just a thing that I noticed this time around. That time it like really irked me. On top of that, I don't know if it's the way that the narrator does it or something, but I feel like I can't read it at 3 times speed. I think for the It Girls, because she's British, it took place in England, so the narrator was British. So to get everything, because it's a mystery, I did it at 2.5 times speed, not 3, like I normally do, and so that kind of made it even slower. This one, I don't know why I can't do it at 3 times. I did try it, but it felt too fast. I feel like it felt like what normal people feel like when they listen to things at 3 times speed, which is weird because I'm the type of person who watches her shows at like 2.5 times speed. So like, why? So fun times. But yeah, I'm having a little issue with that. Also because of that, the chapters are kind of longer. Like, they're like 35 minutes per chapter usually, which isn't like bad. Like, I feel like in page format it's actually like 15 pages. It's like not excessively long but not too short type thing. Because I think I only read 2 chapters last night, and it was like an hour of my life on 2 times speed. So like, what? This is my main issue. Like, it's kind of my only issue. The only other issue I really have is that basically any male character that isn't, I think his name's Cade or Kane or something like that, who is like the medical person on their scavenged crew, every other male character is kind of a jerk for no reason. Like, where I left off, it had just done another thing from like the present day, after everything with the ship happens, and they're interviewing her again, and whatnot. Makes sense. And one of the guys who interviews her very much reminds me of the guy on her ship who is just mean to her for no reason. And I'm not getting the why, and whatnot. Like, maybe if I knew something about these characters or anything, but no, they're just jerks for being jerks, and it just doesn't, it's a little weird. Meanwhile, every other female character so far has just been sweet and nice. So that's fun. There's been a hint of a romance between the medical officer guy, because he seems to be like the only person to care about her, and also like, because he's the medical officer, he does know stuff about her past. She was like the survivor, lone survivor of event on a space thing when she was a child, and a bunch of stuff. So like she keeps on like having flashbacks to that ever since they found the ship, which kind of makes sense, right? And so he knows about it because in case she has PTSD or something, despite the fact that she was a minor, he does know about it, and he like seems to be like the only person ever to know about it and not treat her differently for it. And so she's like, I could like easily imagine myself being with him, and like that shirt looks like it'd be soft to rub my face against, but like I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't let him care for me. So that's fun. I want to know what happens there, but like he's kind of confirmed dead because she's low-key seeing his ghost. Like she sees hallucinations of her crew after the fact, but it's kind of giving me ghost vibes. And then also like the way she talks about things, even like the stuff from her childhood, the way things are described, or the way that things happened as far as we know it are not possible. Like she says that this person, like her mom, helped her get away when she was a child and survive, helped her send out the help beacon or whatever, and then the people who are interviewing her are like, but she had already been dead for weeks. And you're like, what? Then how did she help you? So like my current theory is, what if there's actually ghosts for this ghost ship book? Another fun thing is that I can't stop imagining the ship that they find as the Titanic. You know, like leisure luxury vehicle that had like gold faucets. It's like one thing that was mentioned, and real wood flooring and all this stuff. Goes something bad happens on the maiden voyage, a lot of people die, and all that fun stuff. And then also there's like a sister ship that they had. I know like a lot about the Titanic and that stuff. Like so I think I know slightly more about Britannic, Olympic, and Titanic. Is that I think that's the name of the 3 sister ships that they made. I feel like I know more about them than the average person just because I did a research paper on them in college. But also the way that the ship is described, they designed it like your typical like luxury ship from the good old days when people just were able to go on the ocean and do that stuff. So I mean it's obvious that that was written as a way so that you as a reader could picture what the ship looks like easily, right? But because of that, I just keep on picturing it as the Titanic. And so that's fun. There's been hint at possible cannibalism in order like for people to survive, because it's been like 20 years. So like if they ration the water, they could still be alive, and if they like ran out of food, I mean there's plenty of bodies there, and they did see chopped up like body parts through the porthole, which is like a thing. You know, fun times. Her and the guy that I don't like on her crew are about to go over, because in order to have a claim on a crash ship or whatever, you need to have physical proof that it is that ship, right? And so she was thinking like, she should probably need multiple, because they're probably gonna want to cover it up, because like what actually happened, nobody knows. And so she's like, well, the gold sinks faucets and stuff like that. And then he's like, well, there's also the black box, and he's kind of the only one who knows how to get that out properly. So, yeah, that's what's happening. I'm assuming like zombies or something, okay? Like some type of disease happened. There's like no obvious signs of how the ship broke down or what happened to it. And also where it is not where it's supposed to be. So that's happening. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's like no obvious signs of like a crash, meteorites, or anything like that that could have like caused it to shut down. So they're just like, what happened? What happened? And then there's like just the random body parts in what used to be the pool that they saw through a window, and they're like, what? Excuse me? But yeah, she's about to go over, but the tragedy of this is giving her flashbacks of her childhood tragedy. Makes sense, like, honestly. Does not seem like she was given proper emotional support as a child after the fact. They just kind of threw her at a children's home and then made sure that no one would hire her except for them, so that, like, basically she couldn't tell anyone what happened, kind of thing. So that's fun. But yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's just so slow because the audiobook is so long, and yeah. But you know, I can probably like play video games and listen to it or something, and do some other stuff. And yeah, I guess I'll probably talk to you tomorrow.
Welcome back to the cold house. The side effect of winter storms and the fact that our wood heater can't work right now is that it's cold. It's cold. So the question is, why am I wearing a short sleeve shirt? Not important. Anyways, yesterday I did film the Read With Me's I planned to, and also read all of part 3 accidentally. Whoops. By the time I finished filming them, I had like 20 pages left, so I was like, you know what, I'll just finish it. But because of that, I didn't finish the Guinevere Deception. Yeah. I mean, I got to, I believe, like 81%, something around that, 86 maybe, last night of Guinevere Deception. Some things have happened. I screamed a little bit. Ask H. Moral of the story is I found Lancelot. And, yeah. And to answer your question, yesterday during Sprints, Helen, in case you watched this, when you asked if it was a certain person who was doing the things, that certain person was behind it. So that's the thing. Because I did finish it today. Yay. I'm going with 4 stars. Because I did enjoy it a lot. I mean, the ending I'm kind of mad about. It's not what I wanted to happen is what happened. But like, it's not what I hoped for, but I still liked it. It's still a good time. And hear me out, the romance between Arthur and Gwen, boring. The romance between Gwen and Lancelot, adorable. Okay, when Guinevere is like, hey, if we're gonna continue this whole deception thing of me being your queen, 1, I have to be in charge of like the magic stuff, and you have to let me do that, and 2, you have to let me have my own protector so that you don't have to worry about me. And then she chooses Lancelot to be her protector, and Lancelot just picks her up and like spins around in a circle, and then like sets her on the horse, and it's cute. It's cute. Okay, hear me out. Arthur can't go and start wars to protect Guinevere, but don't worry, because Lancelot does not care. Lancelot's out here just like, yeah, I'll just go defeat like 20 men to save you. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a good time. We love it. There's still some stuff with like her memories and her past that is like very questionable. Lady of the Lake stuff is intriguing. I have thoughts and many theories. And also like at one point this morning I like was connecting dots between all the different adaptations and Arthurian media that I ingested in my life at like 9 this morning when I was reading it. So that was a thing that was happening that each got to hear about. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gotta continue the series. Hear me out. I'm in the middle of too many series. So what's another one? It's fine. I'd like to continue the series as soon as possible. We'll see. But that's not so important. What's important is that when I put it in the book tracker that I'm using this year, and use it to calculate how many days it took me to read it, 57 days isn't that much. Yeah. Whoops. I mean, yeah, I've been reading it since the end of November, so it's like not a surprise that's been a long time, but like actually seeing the number right there of amount of pages was yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I finished that. I liked it. Currently the highest rated book that I've read this month that wasn't a reread. Therefore, it may be the favorite of the month. I don't know. Unless if I just decide to let rereads be favorites of the month. I don't know. I don't know. You have to wait and see, because I think this part comes out after the end of the month. Like, I think it comes out the 1st. So, of February. So, if I remember properly. But yeah, I finished that this morning. Washed my hair. That's why it's so curly. Then I decided to, while I play video games, listen to an audiobook. Now, could I have listened to the audiobook that I'm already listening to? Yes. That is an option. But also, when I went onto the horoscope app I use, CoStar, it told me today to read erotica. Listen, there's no way to go around it. It told me to do that. So, I've had the urge to read Neon Gods by Katee Robert for a while. For like the past like maybe month and a half. So I decided to just go for it. I haven't been playing long, maybe an hour, while I listen to it. And it's only 2 times speed. Because on the computer version, it's 2 times or 3 times. There's no like 2.5. And I can manually change it better on my laptop because I have a Google Chrome extension I have, but I don't have that on the big computer, so yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. So I've been listening to it at 2 times speed. And hear me out. I'm only 18% of the way through already. I don't know how. But I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time, actually. It's great. I kind of want to finish, like, read the whole thing today. Do I have a whole other audiobook I could listen to? Yes. But this one I'm really enjoying, okay? It's not the same length pages-wise, but, it's like a good few hours shorter, which we love. You know, I guess I should talk about actually what it is about. It's about, like, I feel like everyone knows it's a Greek god retelling, specifically Persephone and Hades, and whatnot. And one of the booktubers I watch, actually the one who's like general theme for thumbnails is the one that I've been following for the whole month, for all of these. She just read it and she was talking about how the whole time she was reading it, she was using her knowledge from Percy Jackson to like understand things throughout the book. And I was like, that's gonna be me, and how weird it is. And yeah, because like, listen, it's not even gone that spicy. He's just thought about her a certain way, and yeah. But anyways, it's like a modern day retelling, where like the 13 gods, are actually like families, and you have like an heir, and the next heir becomes the next member of the 13, right? It's called the 13 despite the fact that everyone believes the line of Hades is dead, and whatnot. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling, so it's not a spoiler to really say that he's not dead. But basically it starts with Persephone at this party. Her mother has been voted in somewhat recently as Demeter, and at this party that she assumes is just a normal party, she learns, when she is quite literally asked in front of everyone, that this is actually a party for her engagement to Zeus that she didn't know about until he literally was like, hey, marry me in front of everyone. And she was like, I'm sorry, what? She's not happy about this because, and hear me out, every single one of his wives so far has suspiciously died. And, she's not about that life. She's like, I'm good. Even if I, like, survive, I don't want to have his kids. I don't want this man's hands on me. Just him kissing her hand, she was, like, fighting the urge of, like, washing it off her instantly. She was like, I'm not into this. No, get me out. But her mother is very controlling and demanding. And some of her sisters think that their mother, like, may have a secret plan ahead. Because, like, why would she sell off, basically, her daughter to a man who would kill her? Like, is that really the smart? Like, they believe their mother still loves them, so, like, but, like, Persephone is not solid in this belief. So she runs for it as soon as possible. And Zeus's men chase her until she gets to this bridge to the River of Styx, which takes her to the Undercity, which is where Hades is, not knowing that like Hades is actually still alive. And Hades finds her there and is like, what? And he takes her under his wing, I guess, kind of. And there's something in his past with Zeus that he wants revenge for. It seems like someone has died at Zeus's hand that Hades loved, and that whole type of thing. And you know, he really, listen. There's a part she's like writing in the middle of winter. It's giving me New York vibes. I don't know if it's actually New York, but it's giving me New York vibes. So like it's cold. In the middle of the night, she's running barefoot because her shoes are super uncomfortable, so she takes them off and when she starts to run. So she's running barefoot across gravel and glass and stuff. And she was like out there for hours, I think. So like, yeah, she's not having the best time because all she's wearing is just some flimsy dress. Like he gives her his jacket, and he pulls glass out of her feet. You know, it's kind of sweet. Wraps her up in blankets. Lets her stay the night, and then he's like, "We'll figure out what to do in the morning." And then instantly, she's like, "Hey, we could help each other out." Which is like something he was thinking, but then he was like, "You know what? I don't want to put her in danger by doing that." Also, there was also a hilarious part where he's like, "I could just ask her, but that would be a novel idea." I'm like. I laugh at some parts, but generally I'm just having a good time. Like, I realize this is a dark romance. And it's erotica. I think it's dark romance. And it's erotica. But I'm just having a good time, okay? Hear me out. They've known each other for like 2 chapters. And already they seem like a great pairing, okay? She's like bleeding all over the place from her feet. And when she goes to the room, he like picks her up and carries her there, and she's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I don't want to have to clean up the wooden floors. They're nice floors." And she was like thinking the same thing, and it's so funny. Okay, they're so similar, and I think they could have some good fun times together. It's been hinted at that Hades has a dungeon, but not of like the medieval kind, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll see how that goes. But I assume because there's been hints that people want him to have an heir as soon as possible, and that's why like he's constantly followed around because he is the last of his line. He doesn't have an heir. That like he'll protect her, and they'll like look like the perfect couple in front of everyone, making like the whole entire like social like politics stuff going around. Make it look like he basically stole Zeus's wife. And make Zeus look really bad. I assume something like that will happen. And in payment, basically she makes it so he has an heir or something like that. I assume that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm having a good time. I'll probably update you again tomorrow morning. Look at me actually updating you for this vlog. But yeah, I'm gonna go unload the dishwasher like I'm supposed to be doing right now. And yeah, so it's the next day, it's the next morning, like I said it would be, and I may have read all of Neon Gods yesterday. I got to like 70% while playing video games, and by video games I mean Stardew Valley with the expanded mod. I'm having a good time. I love how it just became summer and I'm already like level 7 foraging, like peak content. And then I just watched TV until dinner and then I finished it. Well, playing cool math games, some of it. That is true. And I also redid like the series tracker for 2023 that I made. I didn't like it anymore, so I redid it. To be very similar to the one from Book Roast who does Cawpile. She on Cawpile had, for like 2023, had this whole section where you track your series for its own page. And so like I copied that for my general series, like all of them overall. But for the 2023, I kind of did it the same way, but like changed it a little few things. And by a few things I mean like a few main things. But that way they look very similar and all that stuff, and it's easier to
understand what's happening and all that fun stuff. And yeah, that's a thing that I did while listening to it. I was at one point making jokes with H around 25% into the book about how, what if this becomes my favorite book of the month? Like, we talked about how the only book more than 3.5 stars that I rated this month was a reread, so like, unless if I change my original thing where I don't make rereads my favorites of the month, what am I gonna do? All this fun stuff. And then around 50% of the way through, I was like, why am I actually liking this? And then, like, did I somewhat guess most of the stuff at the end where, like, all the drama was going down and all that stuff? Yes. Yes. Did I still rate it 5 stars? I think H is gonna kill me. Yeah, here's the thing. If you do not know, I rarely rate things 5 stars. Like, it's so rare. Which is why the orange reading vlog was, like, such a big deal. And I think at one point I did calculate what the average rating of all of them were. I should redo that. But that one was the highest, and I wasn't surprised because I rated at least one book 5 star in that one. It was like this big deal. Because before Neon Gods, I only had, according to Storygraph, 25 books that I had ever rated 5 stars. I think I have over 500 books labeled as read. Like, do we understand? Like, yeah, so it's a big deal. It's kind of a big deal that I rated it 5 stars. And we don't need to talk about it. I think we just need to all understand that I just had a great time, okay? Listen, it's like not that far of a stretch. I was thinking about it, and it's not that far of a stretch for me to really love it, being as one of my favorite series of all time is The Four Horsemen by Laura Thalassa, which is like kind of similar in some ways. Not plot-wise, really. But like pairing-wise and all that fun stuff. And how there's like godly beings, I guess they're not technically gods in Neon Gods, but still. And all that fun stuff. Yeah. So, you know, I had a good time. Now, am I currently reading 3 different books right now? One of which is also an audiobook. Yes. That is a thing I am doing. Though I do know for a fact I will not have time to read Invisible Life of Betty LaRue because I gotta start the next part, which means film for that, until Saturday. I know that's not gonna be a thing until Saturday. That is fine. Here's the thing. I could, while I play video games and do other things today, listen to the audiobook that I'm already listening to. But I'm gonna listen to the sequel of Neon Gods. I'm having too good of a time. Okay, I'm kind of scared that, like, maybe Neon Gods was, like, a one-time, like, stand thing where, like, I really loved it and the rest of the series I'll enjoy, but I won't love it as much. I'm kind of scared of that happening. But I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna have a good time. You know, why not? I already started the series, might as well continue it. Like, let's have a fun time. And yeah, I think it's called Electric Idols. I don't know, you can see the cover up right now. And I don't remember much. I did read the synopsis of all the ones that have synopses up. I think the 4th one is about to come out. And I do know, this is another reason why I want to read it. I do know the 4th one is currently, or whichever one that is, on NetGalley as available to request. So I did request an audiobook last night. And I'm hoping and I'm praying. Like, do I have other books from NetGalley that I need to review pretty early on in February, so I should, like, read them ahead of time? Yes, 100%. Am I gonna do this instead? Yes. We don't need to talk about it. But yeah, I did request it. We'll see if I get it. But just in case, I am reading the series. Even if I don't get it, like, I'll probably still read it soon enough, so it's not gonna be too big of a deal. But yeah, I'm having a great time. I believe the second one is, I don't remember who
the other person in pairing is. But it is Aphrodite's son, if I remember properly. Okay, here's the thing, I read all of them at the same time, so like, all the stopsies at the same time, so I don't exactly remember which one's which. So if this isn't the right one, it'll be cut out. But basically, Aphrodite's son, who we did see a little bit in Neon Gods, and basically, from my understanding, is this really attractive guy who just lives in this world and does his mother's dirty work for her, including killing people. And so there's this one person who he has to kill, which is the other member of the pairing. But I don't know, he sees something in them or something, I don't know. And so he decides to protect them the only way he knows how. Marriage. Hear me out. Marriage of convenience is one of those tropes I like in romance. So I think, yeah, I think I could really enjoy it. And whatnot. You know? I don't know if it'll be 5-star too, but like, I think it could be a 4-star. Like, it could be up there. And yeah. We're not gonna talk about what happens in Neon Gods, because like, is it really important? No. He has scars, and she's the first person he lets see them, other than his first lover ever, and she doesn't run away from him. Wow. She sees him beat a guy almost to death, and knows that he killed another guy. She doesn't run away from him. Oh my god, romantic. He takes care of her, because he cares for her. Oh my god, who could have guessed? When the end of the timetable that they made for themselves is coming up, at least, okay, this happened and I'm actually happy with it. Basically, you know how in like every romance when they have like an end date for their romance, basically their partnership, relationship, whatever, when they make a deal, is coming up, and then both of them are like, wait a second, I'm actually into the other person, and then they just pretend that they're not, or don't tell the other person, or whatnot. In this one, they do actually tell each other that they're actually really into the other one, and at this point, Hades like understands that he's in love with Persephone. Persephone figures that out like a few chapters later, that she's into him, or in love with him. But they both admit that like, if they could, they would still be together after the end of the timetable and all this stuff, but she has her dreams and she wants to go off, and so he's like, go live your life, and whatnot. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that she decides to choose him, and yay. You know, it's fun. Also, fun fact for an erotic novel, it did talk about protection in the sexual aspect a lot. Okay, I'm gonna finish this clip off fast because the sand truck just went up to Sandar Road. But yeah, no, that was interesting. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go read the next book of the series while I play video games, and then probably while I make chili for dinner. And I will most likely be doing sprints, most likely, and I shouldn't say most definitely, I will most likely do sprints while I'm making chili, so that will be interesting. You'll get to see my kitchen. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else going on. There was some like personal life stuff that I low-key handled, which is great because it was really stressing me out. My anxiety was living its best life, and we love that I figured it out for the most part, so I don't have to be that stressed anymore. We love that for me. Love it when I actually do the stuff that I need to do. That stresses me out. It calms my anxiety because it's all figured out. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you later today or early tomorrow.
Hello, we are back in this part of the house. Yay. The only reason we're up here is because you can still probably hear it. But the dogs got their dog food yesterday. And in the chewy box they get like their bones. And Ivy is really chowing down. Really chowing down. Sounds like she's like calmed down now. Of course, as soon as I click the record button. Lovely. Things that have happened, because it is Friday. And apparently my watch needs a charge. Thank you for informing me earlier. Basically, I did finish Electric Idol yesterday. Fun. General things I did, look up and like skim the original story that's based off of. I didn't go like really into it because from what I could tell, the connecting parts were the part that Psyche was a super beautiful woman and all that stuff, but she couldn't find love despite the fact that men basically ogled at her all the time. And because of her beauty, Aphrodite was not worshipped as much, and she got really jealous, and so she sent Eros to who was basically like Cupid to go and kill her, but then he sees her and he decides that he can't do it and whatnot, and that part is basically where it connects. I'm sorry for any weird cuts. My voice has been weird recently, so there's gonna be coughing and you don't have to hear that. But yeah, that's kind of the basic original story. That's kind of how it starts. And this one, basically Psyche is the sister of Persephone. I wasn't sure if she was one of her sisters, but she is. And Psyche is this beautiful girl who has a social media following. She's kind of like an internet personality and whatnot, kind of, technically, I guess. But basically she does a lot of body positivity stuff. She's a slightly curvier girl. Aphrodite constantly is like calling her fat and stuff, so there's a lot of fun stuff with that. And by that I mean not really. Eros does at one point stand up to his mother, who is Aphrodite, is like, "Stop it, that is my beautiful wife you're talking about." And I was like, yes, finally someone snaps back at her. But basically she's at this party. There is a new Zeus because of things that happened in the last book. And her mother is basically trying to set the new Zeus and her up to make her the new Hera, which is kind of basically how the last book started as well. Because it started with Demeter trying to hook up Persephone with Zeus. Lovely. So she's like not really the biggest fan of that. And then Aphrodite is also not the biggest fan of this, because Aphrodite is typically the person who sets up people in this universe, specifically the Zeus. She set up the previous 3 Heras with the previous Zeus, and whatnot. So she like keeps on introducing Perseus, who is the new Zeus, to a bunch of people, and then he's like into Psyche. So she's upset about it, and how Demeter's like encroaching on her land type thing. But basically she needs fresh air after learning that her mother's trying to set them up. So she leaves the party, but not really. And comes into contact with the Eros, who they like kind of know each other, like they go to the same party, so they've seen each other type of situation, right? But he's like bleeding. He's kind of known for being his mother's hitman, kind of. Like he takes care of people for his mother, which includes killing people. And apparently someone got a stab back that night when he was doing his things. And she's like, what? So she takes him into a bathroom and cleans him up, and whatnot. And he's all like, you're nice and pretty, send help. But then someone snaps a picture of them, because she like almost trips and falls, and he catches her, and someone snaps a picture of it and posts it all over online. So then there's like a bunch of people who are like, maybe it's like a Romeo and Juliet situation. Maybe like these families that hate each other are actually together. And Aphrodite is not the biggest fan of her in general, because she feels like Psyche is like taking over her brand. Demeter's like encroaching on what her whole entire job is. And then also now she's like connected with her son, so she says, yo, Eros, kill her. Like quite literally, bring me her heart. And Eros really feels bad about it. Like he tries to do it the best way possible, where he tries to poison her beforehand to put her to sleep so that she doesn't feel any pain and whatnot. And then, but like she doesn't want to die. Imagine that. But she like tries him and stuff, and then he's like, you know what could save you? If we get married. And it kind of works, kind of doesn't. Aphrodite throughout still tries to kill her multiple times. And it's a lot of trying to get everyone else to believe that Aphrodite's trying to kill her and whatnot. The romance is fine. Like I didn't like it as much as the first one, which I was kind of scared of, but like whatever. the real issue, like, the plot wasn't as good. I think because the first book is that they were on the other side of the river Styx, so they were further apart from all the politics of the Big 13. Like, there still, like, was stuff about the politics of the 13 and whatnot, but most of it was the romance with politics thrown in. This one was, like, the whole entire relationship is based around the politics of the 13. Therefore, it's a lot of politics about the 13. And that's not really my favorite part in these books, apparently. So, I mean, I still liked it. I still really enjoyed it, if I'm going with 4 stars. And yeah. There was one really funny part where Helen is kind of one of the very few friends. Helen, as in Helen of Troy, is one of the few friends of Eurys's. So she goes to their sudden marriage to be one of the witnesses, right? And at one point, Eurys is like, she's so beautiful, men could fight wars for her, but she's just my best friend type thing. And I'm just there, like, as a person who knows the basics about that whole time. Yeah, wow, who really could have guessed? Helen of Troy is so beautiful, men would fight wars over her. Who could have guessed? Speaking of Helen of Troy, that's the main character of the next book, which I'm gonna try to read all of today. I have already done, like, the only other thing I really have to do today, which is, one, edit the read with me that I filmed days ago. The second one that I filmed days ago. So I've edited and posted that, so it's all scheduled right now. And then I also just finished editing the vlog that comes out tomorrow. So last week's vlog for you, you know, right? Yeah. So that's all exported right now and all that fun stuff. So, like, that's the only thing I really had to do today. Tomorrow's gonna be a lot of stuff, but today is a pretty easy day. So I don't know what is about these books and listening to them while playing Stardew Valley, but it's like the perfect time for me. I don't know. Yeah, like, it was fun listening to it while I was making chili on sprints yesterday, but, like, it was more fun playing Stardew Valley while listening to it. So I'm gonna try to listen to the whole entire thing of the third book. I think it's called Wicked Beauty or something like that. I don't know, you can see the cover. And I'm gonna read that whole entire thing. Try to read it while playing Stardew Valley the whole time. I think it's the same amount length. I think all of them are the same length. I don't know, like, the 3 that are out so far. So that's fun. Because the 4th one doesn't come out until, like, end of next month, I think. Like, I think around middle to end of February is when the next one comes out. So I'm on the last one that's out for now. So, like, I gotta calm down. But yeah, I'm gonna read that one. Which I don't remember much from the synopsis. I assume it's gonna be something about her brother, who is Zeus, the new Zeus, trying to set her up with Ares, or maybe the new Ares or something, because, one, what I know about the original Helen of Troy story, but also, it was briefly mentioned at the end of the last book that Ares is, like, really old, like, he's, like, 70 or 80 or something, and, he's, like, pretty much dying, like, he's kind of sick and dying, so it's, like, gonna be a thing where they're gonna have to switch out for a new Ares soon, so, like, I assume there's gonna be a new Ares, and then they're gonna try to marry Helen, and Helen's gonna be like, nah fam, but also, like, it's a male-male, female relationship, because it says that it's a retelling of Helen of Troy, Achilles, and Patroclus, I can't pronounce his name, okay, I know, I'll listen to it, and then I'll know how to pronounce it, right? So, like, I could read Song of Achilles, a book that's been on my TBR for, like, years, that I know I'm gonna love, but also cry. And I know I like the author's writing, because I've read the author's other book, like, all this stuff. Or I could read Song of Achilles, but Katie Robert version. And that's what I'm gonna do, today. So, yeah, that's the update. I basically want to read the whole entire thing today, and then, the rest of the month, which you won't see most of, I'm just gonna spend trying to finish the 3 books I am already reading, because, like, maybe I should, like, read those books at some point. imagine that. But yeah, that's it. That's the update. So I'll probably see you tomorrow morning-ish, with my thoughts on this book. Okay, ignore the dishwasher below me. Listen, we can just be proud that I updated twice in one day. What? What? I feel like I did that at one point. Who knows? Who knows? But I did finish Wicked Beauty. That is the name of it. Pretty early on. Do I still know how to pronounce Patroclus? No. No. Yeah, no, every time I messaged H about, what was happening, and it would be a voice message, and I'd have to pronounce his name, I was like, Patroclus, because that's about my skill level. But yeah, it's a good time. It took a bit longer for the relationships to start. It was very much more, the outside plot, or the plot outside of the romance to happen. What I assumed was gonna happen, happened, but also, like, kind of something more. Which is basically, yeah, the old Ares had died. There was a competition to become the new Ares. Patroclus and Achilles were some of the ones who were fighting, as well as other members of the well-known members of the Helen Troy story, Hector and Paris. So I have thoughts on Paris. Think of it, especially in this book. Let's just say he plays the part of the emotional abusive ex in this. So, you know, that's fun. Was not expecting that, honestly. But yeah, basically, I don't remember what I said that I thought happened or was gonna happen, but basically, her brother, who's Zeus, the new Zeus, puts her up to be the prize, like the side prize, as the wife to whoever who wins. And she was originally planning to put herself into the competition, and then he did that, and she was like, I really got to do it. Really got to do it, guys. So his new wife talks her into doing it, which is interesting. And so she still goes up and does it. She knew Patroclus as children and all that fun stuff. And apparently he's always kind of had a thing for her. And Paris is also part of the competition, as well as his brother Hector. And yeah, Paris is her ex, and she's not happy about that whole thing. He is just viewing her being as the side prize, as like, oh yeah, I get to have her back and all this stuff. And her brother's like, you know, I'll like kill anyone who harms you, like if whoever marries you harms you. And she's like, yeah, but that's just avenging me. Like, why not? Why would you put me in that place anyways? Like, yeah, I have issues with some of the ways that families interact in the series. Anyways, this is not the only time that I've had that issue. I have that issue with Demeter in the previous two as well. So, like, I was expecting it, so it wasn't that big of a surprise. It just annoyed me. And, when Achilles and Patroclus, recognize these things are happening, let's just say Achilles is ready to punch Zeus. So, iconic. But yeah, she still puts herself up for it. Patroclus tries to talk her out of it. How many different ways can I pronounce his name? I'm not even trying anymore. And she's like, nah, I wouldn't do it. And yeah, I mean, being as, like, all the competitors have to be in the same building together, to be, like, safe from the outside world and all this stuff, it's safe to say that she gets pretty far in the competition, I'm just saying, if they're together throughout the whole entire relationship. It took about, like, a third of it, though, for, like, things to start to happen. Because Patroclus and Achilles have, like, an open relationship, where Achilles is more the type to go to other people and spicy dance. But, like, it's part of the thing that when that happens, they tell the other member in it, so they both have to agree to the other one being with someone, and all that fun stuff. And then they come together at the end, and, like, yeah, you know, it's very rare that Patroclus goes off with someone else, but he clearly has a thing for Helen. So Achilles is like, no, we cannot have a thing with her. And then pretty far in the competition, well, not pretty far in the competition, but pretty far into the book, Achilles, with Helen, out of anger, I guess, and then Patroclus finds out, and it like kind of puts a strain on their relationship. It's funny because you get both their point of views, and they're both narrated by the same guy, because they're, so far all of them are narrated by the same two people. And so it took me a little bit to figure out which one was talking or whatnot, but like the way that both of them is scared that the other one's gonna leave them at some point, guys, but yeah, that happens, and then some things happen, and then decides to with Helen, and then Achilles walks in halfway through it, and then he's like, I'm gonna watch and order you around, and next thing you know, they're a throuple, and they're happy together, and they're trying to protect her from, one, the emotional trauma she went through her whole entire childhood, as well as her from her ex, and just men in general, and she is trying to protect the battlefield a few times, you know, and it's a good time. When she has to go, listen, it's not really a spoiler. She goes, and it's kind of expected when her emotional abusive ex shows up as like one of the competitors. You assume that like the two of them are gonna go head to head, her and him. And when it finally happens, I was eating up. Listen, she almost threw a knife at another guy, and I was like, no, just throw a knife, and then she does. And listen, that man can't use that shoulder anymore, I'm just saying. I loved it too much. That being said, it was very much similar issues I had in the second book, where more politics of this world, as well as like a plot outside of the romance plot was a very big part. Like the whole entire thing with the Ares situation was like a main portion of this book. Like I want to say it's about half and half between the romance and that. And so like that stuff I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of the politics in this world in general, which is probably why I love the first one, because neither do they. They are not big fans of the politics in this world. And yeah. Also, I wasn't sure if they were gonna end up together at the end, because some things happened. But they do. They do. I mean, I should have guessed, but they do. I was low-key worried there for a minute though. My favorite was when I had 8 minutes total left in the audiobook, 4 minutes in roast speed. When my mom was like, dinner's ready. So that was fun. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And 4 stars. Thank you for turning on at this point. And I'll talk to you tomorrow or Sunday about what I read tomorrow for the last day of this vlog. Welcome to the, I haven't updated for a bit. It's Sunday now. And I should probably update so I can finish this vlog, because I should edit it, because this is gonna have a faster turnaround than I'm used to. Ignore the sounds, the dog's in the background. Listen, Fridays and Saturdays, depending which one my mom works, usually pretty stressful because of me doing stuff around the house all day long and all that fun stuff. And yesterday was more than normal. There were so many things that went wrong, and it's fine. I only read 75 pages, but it was... Dogs, please. It was 75 pages of this that I heavily annotated. It was all of the, I believe it was the 4th part, if I remember properly. Yeah, it was all of the 4th part that I read yesterday, and heavily annotated and filmed all of it for Read With Me's and edited every single one of them, and did all that fun stuff, as well as filming other videos and doing all those. So it was a lot of filming and editing, not really much reading. Have I been thinking that maybe possibly I will DNF Trist? Yes, we'll see. We'll see. Because there's like books I want to read before the end of the month, and there's like 3 days now if you count today. I have read more of this and filmed more. So that's fun. And right now I'm supposed to be listening to an audiobook while I play video games. So, you know, it's not the worst. But you know, whatever. I still love this book. Like,
What is there not to love? I do want to say, though, the last part that I read yesterday is not my favorite part because it goes more suddenly into Henry's point of view. Like, it reaches the halfway point and then it switches to like a lot of Henry's past and all that fun stuff, which like makes sense for like the story and whatnot. But then once that part's over, it's back to Addie's point of view and past and all that fun stuff. And I kind of prefer her story, obviously. So, you know, it is what it is. And yeah. That's it. Really, I haven't really done anything else. That's the end of this vlog, which is also the last of the weekly reading vlogs. Very sad. So that's a time. The last 3 days, which counts today, is going to be not recorded anything. I originally was contemplating putting it into this one, and instead of making like a week long, it'd be a 10-day long. I also could have done it where, like, if I had planned ahead, where the second, third, and this one all have an extra day type thing, so they're all 8 days, minus the first one. But you know, it's too late now. Puzzle's not completed. We don't need to talk about it. That thing, I hate it. I hate how it's just the white spaces now, so I can't really do anything. It's my brain no compute. Okay, my brain no compute. But yeah, that's it. The next vlog that goes up will be the one where I read free ebooks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the TBR that came out 2 days ago for you on Monday. And yeah, read with me's that I've talked about constantly basically are out almost every Wednesday, minus this Wednesday that this goes up. And link below are all the social media and all that fun stuff, and up above in the cards is the playlist for the weekly reading vlogs, in case you want to watch the other 3. The second and third one are pure chaos for completely different reasons, and we love that for me. And yeah, until the next video, I guess.